I'm really excited to review today's movie because of one particular scene. The film itself is called The Outpost. It's a new one. You can watch it on your streaming services. Uh, if you may not have heard of it, the actors in it aren't real well known. Clint Eastwood's son is in it, but it tells the story of the Battle of Kamesh, where two Americans were both presented the Medal of Honor. And I want to speak particularly about one of those guys. His name is Sergeant Ty Carter. And I want to talk about the actor that portrays him. Going to talk about that and more on STP today.
Welcome to Shattered the Podcast.
Sharing the lived experience of mental illness on
A father,
a mother.
A family.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, so The Outpost. It is a film about the war in Afghanistan. Not many of those out just yet, but this is a good one. The Outpost tells the battle of Kamdesh in Afghanistan. Essentially, American commanders put this base out in the worst possible place, put it at the bottom of a fishbowl, and left the men there stranded. So when the Afghans finally attacked the Taliban, the base was unbelievably exposed. Now, what sets this battle apart is that it is the first time since the Vietnam War, I believe, where two men were received the Medal of Honor in the same battle and who both lived. You will remember that the last time that happened, the gentleman didn't live, and it was during the Battle of Mogadishu. There was two medals of honor presented, both posthumously. So the battle was ill-conceived because they were in the wrong place. They should never have been there. And as I said, there were two men that received the Medal of Honor. There was Ty Carter and Clint Romeshay. Now, these two men got medals of honor for very different reasons. Clint Romeshay was instrumental in ensuring that the battle was the outpost wasn't overrun. His contribution was significant and well deserved. Now, Ty Carter, his Medal of Honor is for the complete opposite. He strove throughout the entire battle to save lives. There was one guy in particular that he wanted to save, a fella that he had not been mates with. But in the heat of battle, all he wanted to do was save this guy's life, and he did everything he could. He also ran ammunition to the outposts, the outlying strong points throughout the battle. Please read his citation for the Medal of Honor. It is well deserved. Now, I want to talk about the actor playing Ty Carter. His name is Caleb Landry Jones. And I've seen many, many, many depictions of PTSD in all sorts of films, but I've never seen anyone catch it so authentically. Caleb portrays the character as being a little bit different, which he was and is in real life. He was older than the other guys. He'd been a Marine. He didn't have a personality that meshed with too many people, and I think Caleb portrayed that really, really well in the film. There is a scene right at the end where Ty Carter, he's come out of the battlefield and he's going to see a psychologist, an army psych. And I was stunned when I watched his performance because I could see myself in his eyes when I first had to speak about the incident that gave me PTSD and how much I struggled internally, how much I tried to hold on to the story. He portrays an element that rang true for me in that I hated going to see psychologists and psychiatrists because I had to dredge everything up again. I had to once again relive my pain. And in a way that made me engage emotionally with it, because if I didn't in the psych's office, then I wasn't going to do it at all. Now, this young man, Caleb, um, should get an Oscar for this performance. Um, he is a character actor and he often plays a lot of left of center type characters. But in this performance, he so nails the experience of talking about a traumatic event. Comes in, he sits down. Why are you here today? Oh, because my sergeant told me I had to come. It's the first thing I did. Why are you here today? I don't know. Then she said, I know it doesn't feel like it, but if you talk about it, it will help. Okay, he doesn't talk. He answers in very, very short questions. She says, do you remember the battle? Yep. So perfect. What happened? I couldn't save him. Couldn't save who? I couldn't save this guy. Was he your friend? No. Caleb's acting in this scene. If you want to know what it feels like to sit in front of a psych and have to dredge up the worst thing that you can possibly think of, the thing that's consuming your entire being, and you would do anything not to talk about. You'd do anything to make it so that you didn't have to be sitting there. He tries to distract the psych. He says, you're pretty. In this Me Too age, it's easy to see that and go, oh, objectifying women, but he's not. He's trying to think of anything he can to not talk about his PTSD. Barely says 10 words. And then he starts to tear up. He gets choked up. He can't talk. And the psychiatrist, whoever the actor was, I don't know if this was scripted, I imagine it was, she just stops him and says, breathe, breathe. You're in a safe place. Just breathe. She doesn't say it's going to be okay. She doesn't say you're going to be all right. She just says, you're safe. It's okay. Now, she doesn't say everything's going to be all right, because at that point in time, he can't see that. This interaction at the end of this film is so important that I've been looking forward all week to talking about it. Now, Landry Jones, Caleb, I doubt you'll ever see this, but thank you so much, mate. I don't know where you gained the insight to play the role the way that you did, but it was a revelation. And I mean, I want to pay respects to the two men, Clint Romachet, Ty Carter. These men deserved the accolades that they got, and a movie can never really portray the whole story. But Caleb tapped into something. I don't know if he has an experience of trauma. I don't know if he sat down with the real Ty Carter. Whatever he did, it worked. And even if you don't like war films, I suggest you watch the last 5 minutes of The Outpost. Never have I seen an actor portray so well the experience that I and so many other people went through the first time they had to go in and talk about the traumatic incident that left them. with psychological damage. Ty and the filmmakers, thank you so. Caleb and the filmmakers, thank you so much. And of course, for any veteran, including my brother that served in Afghanistan, we respect you, we honor you, and if you need help, we pray that you just reach out. Stay another day, talk to somebody. Ty Carter is a special man because he has used his platform to talk about the PTSD that he has suffered. He is a speaker and an advocate for people with PTSD, and his service continues, fighting the fight to normalize mental illness. And I thank him for his courage in doing that. It's easy to say thank you for your service. It's harder to look at the work that somebody has to do when they come back to truly, really live a full life once they return. And Mr. Carter, thank you, sir. I will speak to you tomorrow. Got another great movie that we're reviewing. Check out The Outpost. You will not be disappointed. Thank you for listening to Shattered the podcast. I'd like to thank our producer, Meredith Brosnan, our executive producer, Torian Lau, and the band Adelaide for allowing us to use their song as our theme. Go to shatteredthepodcast.com for more information.